Good evening, Hogan. Thanks for being with us tonight. I want to play for you some sound of Rudy Giuliani today. He gave an interview on Fox earlier today, the president's personal attorney, of course. Take a listen.
I do not discuss my conversations with my client. You can assume that I talk to him early and often.
Yeah.
And have a very, very good relationship with him. And all of these comments, which are totally insulting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen things written like, he's going to throw me under the bus.
Right.
When they say that, I say, he isn't, but I have insurance.
All right, Hogan, what is the White House reaction to that statement?
Look, obviously, I don't speak on behalf of Rudy Giuliani. I'm here to talk on behalf of the President of the United States. I did, however, see Rudy Giuliani's tweet afterward, which basically he said was a joke. And what he was talking about as it relates to insurance policies relates to Hunter and Joe Biden and their nefarious behavior in Ukraine. I think that's pretty obvious. But if you're looking for insurance, you don't have to look any further than the transcript that the President of the United States took the unprecedented move to release so that every single American could read it themselves. He didn't release one. He released two conversations with President Zelensky. He's done nothing wrong, and everyone now knows it. After a couple of weeks of an illegitimate, ridiculous, sham impeachment proceeding, you now see, when simply asked the question, is there enough evidence? Is there any evidence of any wrongdoing, any bribery, any quid pro quo? Every single witness said no.
All right. Well, you talk to the president all the time. Is the president at all concerned about that statement that Rudy made to Ed Henry earlier today?
No, not at all. Look, the president's done nothing wrong. He knows that. Rudy is his private attorney. Obviously, I don't know too much about their relationship because I deal with issues and matters at the White House. But the president's not worried about that at all because the president knows he's done nothing wrong here. That's pretty simple.
And he's still,
the Democrats.
So he's still his attorney. Rudy is still the president's attorney.
Last I heard he was, unless something's changed, he is the president's attorney, yes.
Okay. And you can say definitively that is the case and that the president is not concerned about the statement that Rudy made.
Look, no, because the president knows that he's done nothing wrong here. The insurance policy is the transcript. You understand. You see. The president's done nothing wrong here. So whatever Rudy Giuliani says as it relates to insurance policy, his Twitter feed said it. He's joking. He's messing around.
Right.
And, in fact, the insurance policy had to deal with the Democrats and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and that relationship with Ukraine and Burisma. That's the real issue we should be talking about.
And, in fact, there was a tweet that came out later and said it's a sarcastic and relates to files in my safe about Biden's family, 4 decades of monetizing of his office. If I disappear, it will appear immediately along with my RICO chart. So let me ask you about this. I want to go on to someone else from the administration. Now, we've got Ambassador Bolton. John Bolton has reared his head and his mustache, actually, again, and on Twitter. And he's accused the White House of muzzling his Twitter account. What is that about?
Look, I saw some of those reports. That's just not true. That's not the way Twitter works. We don't have control over John Bolton's personal account. We can't even block his personal account. Look, I don't know exactly what happened there.
Did he have a government account?
He did have a government account, which, of course, we all have a government account, and they're all controlled or at least monitored by people in the administration because there are all types of rules and standards we have to abide by, so they monitor it. But it's his personal account he's concerned about, and that's fine. But it looks like, to me, it seemed like the situation we've all been involved in which we just simply forget our password because we don't have control over his account. We sure didn't block it. So now I think he's found his password and he's tweeting again. So good for John Bolton.
He says I was finally able to liberate what his Twitter account. And all right, but I want to move on to something else, which I think is fascinating as well. The president seemed to indicate that he would welcome a trial in the Senate. And in my opening statement, as someone who's tried cases, I mean, I'd love a trial in the Senate, and I'd love to start with Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Chalupa, the whole lot of them, okay?
Right.
Now, wouldn't it be interesting if the person to be the cross-examiner would be Rudy Giuliani? Wouldn't that be an interesting tack to take?
That would. Talk about can't miss television. I have to tell you, though, and that might be Rudy calling you right now, concerned about what we're talking about.
Alarm.
Okay, good. Well, listen, I talked to the president about this directly. We were in the Oval Office, and he looked at me across the Resolute desk, actually, and he said, listen, Hogan, the Democrats have nothing here. I've done nothing wrong. But if they proceed with this sham, illegitimate proceeding, I want a trial in the Senate. I welcome a trial in the Senate, and I want to call all the witnesses we didn't have the right to call in the House side. Obviously, the Senate is the only place where I can get fairness and receive due process under the law, but the witnesses I want called, and he named them. I want Adam Schiff. I want the whistleblower. I want Hunter Biden. I want Joe Biden.
All right.
Those have been clearly articulated by the president.
15 seconds.
And we expect if it moves on forward, that's what's going to happen.
15 seconds. FISA's coming out on December 9th. Let me ask you this. The New York Times seems to be downplaying it. Do you have any information on that, whether or not it's just one low-level guy who changed something little that really didn't change the results of the FISA warrant?
No, look, I don't know, but we are investigating the investigators. That's pretty clear. And it would be not shocking to anyone to know that the media and the Democrats are downplaying all of the nefarious behavior and the potential obstruction and the potential collusion and corruption on their side. They don't want any part of this conversation.
That's it. All right, Hogan Gidley, thanks so much.